that Rek'Sai locked in instantly by Broken Blade. Not going to be delaying any of the choices here as we've come to the very end of the draft. So, gentlemen, who's feeling the best out of this one? I'm looking at...
I accidentally said Busio is starting to move. That's how I'm so much used to seeing his
Busio's moving too!
Yeah, he is moving. Look at him go. As we get the flash away here, as Broken Blade getting himself out of there.
Inspire tries to start that one off, but it's been a very timid start for both junglers. Really nice knockback.
Yeah, Quad finding the angle, the double pulverize, but there's not very many people here to follow up outside of just Quad himself. So
getting to the grub fight, and you see Victor trying to clean up those minions by mid-tower, so that gives enough time there, enough priority for FlyQuest to grab at least the 2. They want the final grub for the might.
Yep, they should be able to get it here as well, as in they go. Magical Journey does get Lebrov out of there. But that was... I don't have that one.
That's a good request.
That is a stat that I hope we don't beat in this game.
I'm thinking it makes it more interesting if there's no...
Yeah.
I do the meters thing. I'm sure it's about the same size as the foot. Never mind.
You...
Quad, let's see where the gravity field is going to work. The Arcane Storm doing a fair bit at the same time. But the Seismic Shove also lands. Death Ray comes in. The flash and First Blood is a Cap solo kill that's immediately answered here as Busio pushes him back underneath the turret. But man, we had no action and then a solo kill.
Yeah, I think that because Busio has Hex Flash on Alistar, as well as Spellbook, he's still going to have some mobility. He might need it.
Yeah, he is ghosting, so that's going to move him pretty quickly, but let's just get into position here. Twisted Advance does come on down, but it's Skumon that does get pulverized. Another brilliant flick from Quad to pull Skumon back, and in the meantime, Caps, oh, that flash is gone, and Inspired will take him out because of it. Now Quad looking for that angle once again, and they have corralled them underneath this turret, but it looks like FlyQuest, they're just happy to get that one pick, and then set
for a Victor wandering through the jungle, and...
He doesn't see them because they're stood still.
Oh, the flash pulverize going to come on through. Another headbutt back here. Even the Valkyrie damage is helping out. Trample going to come on through, but he does have part of that network set. And the flash forward does need to come in, but it's not enough. The little bullet from the Corki couldn't do it. And out goes BB once again.
Rek'Sai so obnoxious to lock down as Lebrov throws the ultimate mids.
Yeah, Tempered Fate comes on down there as Hansama gets on in. Didn't quite have the snap trap, and he just flashes over the Seismic Shove and will be able to get the last hit onto Quad. So Hansama going to even things up once again, as in this top lane, Whippo taking some damage from Caps.
Okay, so the gloves are coming off now from both sides. They're getting a little bit more warmed up on stage. Items are coming through, and they're looking to punish where they can. Mid lane has clearly been the focus from both sides, but Hansama picking up that kill will build him up to a huge lead of 1K over Masu.
And last time, Vedius, I was like, oh yeah, you know, Quad, he just took his death and it was good, you know, because Cap splashed and Quad didn't. But that one, well, wait a second.
Yeah, got a bit of a flash forward here from Whippo, who's going all out onto Caps, has Inspired alongside him, and down goes the Victor once again.
A fantastic punish comes through from Whippo. Again, Caps had no real way to get out of that situation given he had no flash available. The gravity field also just doing nothing to Whippo. I don't think that she quite has the tools to get through what already feels like a very tanky Cassante, even though it's G2 that's first to this objective.
Trinity Forces are pretty good, aren't they, when they're built? As you can see, Hans
they're back for him, so good value there for him. 2 dragons stacked up by G2, but again, the top side objectives, the Grubs and the Rift Herald, are the ones that turn into...
Broken Blade. Getting that kill with the assistance of Inspired was a nice pick for sure, but on the side lane, I feel like that he just spent more time in lane, allowing him to build almost a full level advantage over his opposition as G2 set their sights on the tower.
Yeah, Nature's Grasp does come down as Caps is getting pushed out of the fight. Ace in the Hole comes on through here as well, but looks like G2 decide against going for anything more. Net over the wall will get Hansama to safety, and the Rift Herald going to then try and turn the tables as far as this push. And this could actually just be feats of strength right here as Shelly decides that she wants to give them over to FlyQuest, and that will come on through as soon as we deal with these minions. No real defense here by G2 going to get set up, and there she blows.
Tower achieved, as you say, the feats as well as the extra gold here. Soaked up by everybody, and
in this game, because there hasn't been much of a battlefield so far. There's 5 kills all up, but it's a lot of posturing as Lebrov able to walk out of the way of the wall. Seismic Shove does go wide as Hansama not quite able to get the net for the slow, but otherwise is able to get out of dodge. Still, Summoner Spell's now on cooldown, and that flash being down for the Caitlyn is a big deal as Lebrov in the back of this pit just get flicked back, and I thought he was just going to Magical Journey out, but he doesn't.
Yeah, where are you going, buddy? Busio sits him down, and Whippo trying to sit Broken Blade down, but the flash is enough.
That's beautiful play-by-play there, Kobe. But still, G2 have so much control of this area. Nature's Grasp for holding on to control as well is so incredibly good. Hex Flash going to get channeled here as Busio looking for an angle towards Caps, perhaps, as he gets taken down so incredibly low. Unbreakable Will comes in, and now you've got Whippo trying to make the difference, but Tempered Fate to hold them in position. Hansama in so much trouble, and he does get taken down. Inspired to grab first blood in the fight. Busio is going to be the answering kill, and Broken Blade takes down Busio as well. It's FlyQuest that can actually answer back as Caps trying to do some of the damage, but doesn't quite manage to do so. And it's a big win here for FlyQuest.
Yeah, huge.
Talia thus far, and 2 items have now been completed as the Leandries is now done as well. They'll grab themselves another turret.
Has opened up a lot of like small opportunities for FlyQuest so far, and trigger on the Otacon.
Yeah, there is a ward still here though for G2, so they know the size of this health bar. As you can see, Whippo just trying to stand in front of them.
He's
to
far.
keep them out of this one, as my goodness, he's so incredibly tanky at the same time. Is G2 going to have to deal with him first? The wall goes down just to try and keep him alive. There's a Pulverize as well as Broken Blade gets himself out of there. Now the Nature's Grasp does fly past, but the Otacon will just turn its sights onto G2 this time, down to about 4K as FlyQuest possibly out of this. There's a flash forward from Busio, but I don't know about it. The flick back, though, is gorgeous, and Skewmon put in position, but unable to get the smite. That one's going to go to Inspired. As the gravity field goes down, the Arcane Storm doing nothing. Master going to take down Caps, who cannot get it done. Now Broken Blade buying some space. They only lose one, but Otacon, such a big deal.
FlyQuest play with such patience. Quad with a fantastic ultimate to start that fight off because it isolates Broken Blade. It looked like Whippo was the one.
Whippo's back to help him out.
I mean, just great patience being demonstrated by FlyQuest as now Broken Blade in a lot of danger.
Or is he? I mean, this is the Rek'Sai situation, right? It always looks like he's in danger, and then I do that play-by-play thing where it's like, oh yeah, he's gonna die, and then he never does. Well, let's see whether he does here. See, that thing. You know, let's see whether he, no, it just doesn't happen, as he is just eating a whole lot of pressure in this game.
I gotta be honest, Vedius, it's looking a lot like MSI to me.
I mean, right now, yeah, we haven't really...
I'm looking at this game, I'm feeling like Inspired's been pretty loud. 3-0-2 currently on the Wukong, as Whippo just cool item spikes, Kobe. Is this going to be enough for FlyQuest to look for a teamfight angle, because it's also soul point for both teams? Whippo goes forward, but isn't going to be able to find too much more. Inspired, look at that flank angle. As the knockup does come through there on Busio, the explosive damage is massive. The wall comes through just to make sure that Caps cannot get in. Hansama not able to find Busio, but now the Unbreakable Will is worn off. Is this just going to be soul point over to G2?
Yeah, I think they get it. You know, FlyQuest, basically Busio's out of the fight now. An Alistar low health with no ultimate doesn't get to do much at all. They just call it off. Yeah, FlyQuest, after they see that.
Looking for this Baron. G2 in position, though. They still have a lot of buttons up and available. It's only the ace in the hole that they really used. And so Inspired going to back away. They're not going to go for any 50-50s. It's Broken Blade in an uncomfortable position, but the Seismic Shove isn't going to find the mark. As they all get themselves out. There's the Nature's Grasp as G2 are actually looking for it here, but it's a clone.
And Inspired is going to take that one away, start the objective up once again.
Yeah, Mega Cone is going to be denied here at the same time as Whippo just patrolling the edge of this Baron pit. They do pull off though, as you can see, Quad's in that mid lane. And the wall is going to come down. Caps is going to be separated from the rest of the team. Ace in the hole comes in. Inspired going to eat that one for Quad to keep him in the fight. Whippo now taking some real damage here.
Obviously, like, the fights are going to be a lot scarier for them. They need to leverage the advantage that they have right now.
Well, this could be certainly leveraged as Caps walks a little bit too far away from his turret and will just... Natofo strikes. Inspired, though, already right on top of this Baron. Skewmon in the area, but it's going to be so difficult to stop this Baron from going down. The flash in, the headbutt back! As Skewmon's flash is now on cooldown. Redemption for a bit of extra damage at the same time as FlyQuest, they kept the Baron leashed. All of this vision getting taken away over and over again. And this Baron down to 4,000. Do they opt in for it? Because Skewmon can't get over the wall. It's going to be impossible for them to stop this, and the Baron will be taken by FlyQuest.
They want to get as much out of this Baron as possible.
We also need to delay Elder Drake for as much as possible as well, because we want this game to go for about 70 minutes if possible.
For G2's credit, it is hard to push on these Caitlyn trap lines, but never mind.
Flash is going forward here as the wall comes down, and Hansama just blows up. The inner turret is going to go down, and Skirmishes is running the wrong direction. Bit of a jungle v jungle here as he gets the Teemo thumbs up. I don't think Skirmishes is going to feel okay about it. Nimbus Strike comes forward. Inspired finishes him off, and I think this is the end of the game as FlyQuest will slowly but surely, methodically tear G2 apart here in game one. Busio going forward one more time. The Tempered Fate comes down for a bit of fun as the Nexus turrets, one already down, the second one to follow. Masu right in their face. The Arcane Storm not doing too much of anything. And the Nexus will now go down. Trading places here is Masu and Broken Blade, but down goes the Nexus. And it's FlyQuest up.
Soraka, as long as Busio can have some good space, I kind of like it for the team.
Well, the Xayah is the most obvious thing ever, so that is just going to be locked in here to route. Oh, Skirmishes knows exactly what's going on. The Battle of the Crab is going to come on through. And he gets that ward in, so Inspired starting this fight off already. Quads roaming over at the same time as Skirmishes is so incredibly low. Busio gets on in here, heals them up, and they're not going to be able to quite find naming people all over the place on this broadcast. That's what we're doing. And it's really adding to it. It's a yes from me. It's flash out from Bwipo as the pillar.
Elsewhere on the map as he looks to steal away this blue buff, but already off to a strong start from FlyQuest as they have control
G2's
over.
way and a trade of objectives here to start this one off.
Genuinely impressed that G2 got away with that because FlyQuest
We're traumatized for a long time. We had a lot of failures with this champion, but we have had a lot of successes.
Yon was another one I remember.
Well. Yeah.
Ooh, Tibbers playing some defense here for Quad. Meanwhile, towards the top side of the map, some aggression as Masu going down very low. Battle Busio here on the Soraka is just...
Skirmishes doesn't want to waste any time. He's not even pulling the objective out. He's just going to melt through it. Inspired saying, nah, not worth it. I'm just going to go clear my topside camp. So Drakes are going to be equalized. G2 with a slight advantage in that department. But again, the gold really going the way of FlyQuest pretty much everywhere. Skirmishes has snuck in here.
Yeah, you don't get to opt into all the fights, though. Sometimes the fights come to you.
Oh, this happening as Labrov makes his way over. They're looking for the dive. Knockup does come on through as Busio gets the wish out, but there is first blood going over to the Trundle here at 13 minutes. The culling to soften them up, but Masu might even be in trouble himself as G2 do decide to back away. And we do now have 12 seconds on the Rift Herald, so we'll see who's going to be able to get set up for that one. Busio here in mid lane for now. Looks like Fly do want to fight for it, but Bwipo's also in trouble. Equalizer goes down, flashes away, and just gets chomped down by Skirmishes. That's 2-0 for the Troll. And now without Equalizer and the Rumble, it's going to be hard for Fly to fight for this one.
Skirmishes with some active plays. This is a much better look for G2 and for Skirmishes. Skirmishes makes the gank on bottom side, Vedius, then he makes the gank on top side, and a repeat gank as well.
Yeah, makes another gank towards this top side. Good flash out there as the wish comes through as well, but it's not going to work. It's 3-0 in the kills as G2 lock down those feats of warfare, and FlyQuest, they need to do something about this Troll.
Yeah, the Troll is controlling the game. Where the Troll goes, G2 wins. And now there is a teleport back out for Bwipo. He has been able to wait out his death timer, and so that's going to put a little bit of a pause on things. Quad being down though, and Quad does not have teleport when he gets back up. Still a few seconds left on that one.
Well, Bwipo realizing the return of Skirmishes is coming on through, but the rest of his team moving on up at the same time. Audacious charge there from Inspired to try and close the gap momentarily. G2 in position to try and fight for this, but Hansama is a little further away from everyone else. We have a reset now coming on through, but FlyQuest
initially had position on, they're forced to concede it. Now, does it mean a huge amount? Not necessarily, because Dragon spawning in 30 seconds, and I imagine that's G2's bigger prize. But yeah, now they don't have that TP available for Caps, and he's still on the top side of the map.
Well, Rift Herald is just immediately going to be put down here in this mid lane. That could be first turret. Going on over
Pillar,
to FlyQuest.
pillar.
Yeah, let's see whether it is going to come through, and there it is. Skirmishes able to lock that one down as we have the ulti from Caps towards the top side. Bwipo in trouble, but he's just kept alive by the ambulance. And now Quad, an awkward position for him as well, as Caps finds some damage there. Into the backline goes Broken Blade. They're kind of taking it in turns to annoy FlyQuest, and it's working very nicely as G2 keeping these health bars pretty up there And FlyQuest starting to look a little worse for wear. Cap's taking some damage. The Witch comes down yet again. The Equalizer not quite doing that much as Inspired goes in. Looking for LeBron, but he gets himself out. The Crescent Guard comes through as well as Broken Blade comes down from the heavens. Inspired's just looking unkillable on this Xin Zhao, but G2 just won't go down.
Yeah, G2, Cap's alive. Keeps Lebrov alive.
Lebrov, his heal on the Q, and now Masu's in danger.
Yeah. There is the Galio in there as well, as Masu does get that flash off. Winds of War not quite doing too much damage here, so it's going to be out because you're really good into burst that doesn't kill you. But as soon as the burst kills you, Soraka is useless.
Suddenly, she loses value.
Yes. So as Caps gets more and more items, is able to do that big damage. Doesn't necessarily have a huge burst build right now. That could be happening as we get later and later into this game. And especially if it's Busio that immediately dies, the Soraka is going to have no value at all.
Yeah, my main thing is that FlyQuest, well, hold on a second.
Yeah, Skimon once again making his presence known as in goes Inspired. He is difficult to kill as we do have a lot of damage coming down. Caps finding the angle for the ulti, but look at this! This Soraka is ludicrous! Making sure that he throws band-aids to everyone, and they are all just gonna be okay. FlyQuest now moving on towards this Otacon as Lebrov eating some honey fruit, but it looks like they'll be able to use these lower health bars to push them away, and now Bwipo is just burning him down. Might be a little bit of a bridge too far, but it doesn't actually happen. Equalizer is confusing, and I'll leave it at that. But the Otacon down to 50%. Broken Blade teleports in, but isn't going to be able to do too much more because the map is dark and full of terrors and bananas.
Yeah, the Bwipo Rumble is not looking the best, but his teleport down to the bottom side does mean that they're full committing to Otacon, and they do get the Otacon. G2 make them pay for it, though.
Oopsies. I mean, left and right, but it does feel like FlyQuest got the better of that last moment and do get the Otacon for it as we have another engage to come through. G2 may have found Inspired yet again, but this is how the last fight started. Quad comes on over and just drops a bear on them. The Galio will be the answer. The knock-up, he's still alive, but Skimon will finally get the chomp. And down goes the Xin Zhao eventually. Man, that took everything.
Play took off. There were FlyQuest question mark pings there. They did kind of expect.
Oh, Skimon is just going to get flashed on here. Tries to flash the wall, misses. And now you've got the Featherstorm needing to be employed. Another cheeky equalizer to come down.
Going throughout the game, but he now has a full level over Quad. And, I mean, at the very least, Bwipo being able to secure this, then it could be very good for them.
No flash on Bwipo.
This might be that initial pick that you were talking about. Outer turret is going to be taken here. Bottom lane to follow suit immediately. The rest of FlyQuest moving to move in, but it's getting a little bit scary as they're moving into the fog of war. Equalizer goes down once again.
That's very
trying to get the poke in there. As soon as FlyQuest do take damage, though,
the damage was very little as well.
This is Soul Point, remember, guys. This is not something that FlyQuest really feel comfortable giving up, but they're not going to be able to move in here into the fog of war to try and deny it. So they're going to have to try and get this middle outer turret instead. Baron just spawning now. FlyQuest moving towards this top side with that mid outer turret falling.
Okay, so only the
Did
top
result in this Trundle being really hard to take down now, and Trundle kind of thrives in these scrappy fights.
Well, he's going to have to try and book it over here. It is Broken Blade with a lot of CC, keeping Bwipo busy. Equalizer goes down. The Wish comes in, but he just dies before FlyQuest could get in there. Still, they're going to look for the fight, though. Crescent Guard comes down. Lebrov just explodes in an instant as the taunt is fantastic. The flash out from Inspire, but he still dies. Not enough in the tank here for Busio. And G2 finding the advantage here. Redemption comes down.
They might try and contest this still. Masu in the area. Let's see what poke he can get down.
It is a pretty early Baron, but it's going down very, very quickly. A teleport is available here as soon as this Rumble does spawn, and he's teleporting in now, but the Baron is going to go down. Quad immediately explodes as Bwipo cannot get anything done. Flash over the wall there from Busio as Bwipo decides he wants to go aggressive. I'm not sure about that one, but Masu tries to get the kill on Skimon, and it doesn't quite work. All of these Barons still up and available, and the Justice Punch to bring Broken Blade forward. He will find his mark as Busio's still alive and getting this healing down, but the problem is they're not doing enough damage to G2, and they're just going to back up. The culling is working as intended, but unfortunately, it's just a little too late.
The Soraka healing is just way too monstrous.
Control the entire map right now. This fight just blew it wide open. They've got Baron buff. They got a bunch of extra kills off it too.
Okay, well, we're looking for a bit more of a fight here as the heroic entrance comes down. Quad takes a large chunk FlyQuest still in it, though, as we can see. Masu is going so aggressive. I don't know whether it's a good idea, as there is the ulti out from Caps to get so much AoE damage, but Masu still alive. The ambulance is working, but Skewmon finally gets the jump down. And there goes the AD carry. G2 are a freight train. They'll break the inner turret, and they'll probably get more because they've got Baron, and they're looking at a game number 3.
G2 will finally get a bit of revenge against FlyQuest as they finally get a big... Wow, I suppose they'll get a big inhibitor.
They do get a big inhibitor.
Game 2, Steve.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's his name going to be in Game 3?
It's Game 3 Gary, and I hope you guys are ready.
If I knew it was Game 3 Gary before, I'd be so G2 biased in this game. Oh my god, I'm really glad you saved that until now, as the priceless moment of the game does come on through. Infernal Soul for G2. The Rebel Baron power play putting them at about 8.7k in the lead. And FlyQuest trying to get back out onto the map. You can see Inspired just wanting to keep this fight going, but Between Worlds comes out from Caps, and he's now on a rampage against Quad. And Masu feels like he just came out of the death chamber, but immediately they're looking to try and put him back in there as this siege. Baron or no Baron, G2 will be able to take down another inhibitor turret. And with Infernal Soul, I think they'll have the damage to burst down FlyQuest now. The culling comes through, but Skewmon says what? As he just takes most of it. Equalizer in as well as they look for Whippo, but he does go gold, and the quickness comes on through. The charm is fantastic. They try and keep him alive, but it does not work. It's a bit of a trade, though, as this Rakan is going to be taken down, but man, these wallets, they are so heavy from G2. First Nexus turret to be taken down. Masu going to be next to be taken on this fountain, and G2 showing them that even though they did get swept at MSI, here it was. To Jack's jungle, which is likely not going to be happening. Labrov to lock that one in. And so BB with a Jax towards the Renekton. The matchup obviously
should be pretty easy for them to break this freeze. In fact, Inspired might look for a wraparound because there's no vision on the bot side, so Broken Blade in a lot of danger.
Yeah, looking a little bit dicey here as the Counter-Strike comes in. The Flash W is going to connect as the Grandmaster's might is not mighty enough, and First Blood goes over to Whip.
And the advantage that Whippo gains after Broken Blade loses all that farm as well, just beautifully done from FlyQuest.
Punish a bit. Your jungler shows getting Dragon. I will take your Cromp at least.
Oh, there's the sweep from Quad. Flash comes out from Caps as the Flash in trade there as Quad avoids the Shockwave. Nicely done, but there's a lot of summoner spells now missing in the mid lane, and both junglers can smell it. Skewmon moving on over. Quad does have that wave pushing into him. There's now another fight in this bottom lane, top lane matchup that we've got here.
Have Whippo actually go towards mid. He reset after clearing the wave and is heading mid to rotate the Azir already into the side lane, even before getting first item Nashers.
Orianna gets first rotate, but the Varus is nowhere near. I mean, Skewmon's happy with one. He doesn't have to overcommit to anything else. They've denied the 3 grubs, and so small advantage that G2 will be happy with.
And that is going to be on this champion. Like, this is one of the Quad champions. And we'll see whether they can get some value out of it. Dominus here in this mid lane as Caps is in trouble. Remember, no flash for the Orianna, but the Shockwave is back off cooldown. And he creates enough distance.
Setting up for the dragon fight, just lighting up this jungle and the approach angles for FlyQuest.
Hansama gets flashed on here, does have to use his flash, but now he's a Varus with no flash. Yeah. That's a tug.
Lucio.
But they know the timer, and it looks like G2 are just going to be able to burn this one down. So evening up the dragons.
And so you're facing this Nashor's Azir in the side lane, and that's just, it's so problematic. Broken Blade, meanwhile, as you can see on screen, they're going for the 2v1.
Yeah, Whippo, this is going to be a difficult one to deal with, especially with the Brock turning up. That flash not going to help, and Whippo is still not going to quite get to
that wave is now quite awkward once again, but Skewmon's here to fix it.
Oh dear, throwing the first briefcase. As we've got a bit of a problem for Caps as the depth charge comes through, flash comes down, but the answering anchor is fantastic. Busio will be traded though, gorgeously played by Caps to make sure it's a 1-for-1.
And that is
Good
worth...
lane, it does have Ghostblade and Swifties. It's going to be very hard to stick on top of him. Skewmon's health bar is starting to look very, very large, as we can see. Inspired in the area though, Glacial Prison in hand. We have a look at the comparison here between our top laners. Speaking of top laners, it's going to be Quad playing defensively here, getting rid of Broken Blade yet again, means Emperor's Divide is going to be off cooldown for any potential fights, as he just leaps back in once more. This is a little dicey. There's the counter-strike to come on through. Decent stun coming on in there as Broken Blade does at least get the flash out from Quad. And he makes it to the safety of his turret.
I do feel like Trinity Force on Jax is kind of the point at which Jax really starts to feel confident on a side lane, and that's what we're starting to see. Quad now has to be a lot more respectful as the Rift Herald is started off by G2.
Exactly. It took him a while to get there, but he did, in fact, get there.
Yep, teleport is available here from Broken Blade, so it can be a 5v5. As there's the anchor connecting. Glacial Prison goes down as well. Decent chain CC as the Shockwave is decent as well. It's massive damage, but it's G2 coming out on top as both the Nautilus and the Renekton on the floor, and they'll claim the objective.
G2 get a massive fight around the Herald and secure the objective, taking out the front line, securing
Shield
that.
off, and Han Sama just melts through that double front line there.
Oh dear, Caps might be in a little bit of trouble as the curtains have been called. The last shot comes through and Masu will be able to nail it, evening out the kills. Still, that last play putting G2 back into touching distance once more.
I mean, FlyQuest don't waste any time. They get back out on the map, they find a big pick, and now Skewmon sets his sights on bot.
Yeah, Quad actually greeting a little bit to make sure that he gets this turret, and Emperor's Divide comes down, but there is a spell shield, and Skewmon says what? And once again, it is going to be Quad going down. Beautifully played. They did manage to get the turret, of course. He kind of knew that he was going to be in a little bit of trouble.
The tower going to be secured by Whippo, and so FlyQuest will hold on to the gold lead. When we look at the bottom of our screen, all of the gold lead really is sitting on Whippo. And so far, in that last fight, he got shut down so quickly. Han Sama's continuing to ramp up in terms of itemization. Another tower secure.
Okay, will go down as the minions do deal with it. Han Sama holding Inspired in place as he procs that Blighted Quiver. Starting to do a fair bit of work here as 1.5 items are completed for the Varus as the Dragon was started, but not actually committed to just yet. It's exactly. Shockwave pulls Whippo back. Does have the dominance to get that extra health, but Caps, he will be able to push away this Renekton, and now without all of that power and money in this fight, it could be difficult here for FlyQuest as G2 still going to be pressured away, and it will be the Dragon going down. Whippo going to be stopped as well. That back not going to come through. We'll see whether they can get a dent onto this turret, and with the Rift Herald, they will be able to.
Yeah, G2, they have to respect FlyQuest.
Oh no, another one, and this time the Magnustorm comes in. Whippo has to flash, gets himself out of there. Shelly gets a headache, and will be able to take this one down. Skewmon stands in front of the hook, and Busio has to cleanse, gets himself out of the way. Oh, the Emperor's Divide moves Skewmon away from him, still able to get the kill, but now the curtains have been called. First bullet, second bullet, third going to miss, the fourth one lands, but it's eaten by Lebrov, and he's going to be just fine. G2 limp away.
A crazy back and forth as Masu...
But G2 with control of the area.
Not enough time because we're starting off the Otacon. G2 is just forcing this one.
Yeah, FlyQuest do have vision. They know what's going on, but it is burning down so incredibly quickly. Mundo is very, very good at doing a lot of extra damage to these as Busio not going to quite hit the anchor. As can they get to steal the answers? No. Whippo taking a fair bit of damage as Broken Blade is now so dangerous, but Whippo still able to get that work done with this dominance, but it's in fact the redemption that helps out. And down goes Quad as well, and it looks like FlyQuest not quite making this one happen as G2 just move forward. Mundo is indeed doing exactly what he pleases as that cleanse, that ain't gonna help you, buddy, as Skewmon does have a lot of paperwork to do, and he's in the way.
G2 play flawlessly. Broken Blade finally gets revenge on the side lane. The mid tower is gonna fall, and this game is getting out of control as G2 grow the gold lead.
G2 just take over at the Otacon, grabbing it and all of this gold. What a massive, massive swing.
This is pretty amazing. We have to remember as well, this game.
Decisively, before Inspired had a chance to join, he was walking all the way from base, but let's get back to live.
Yeah, we got another battle here as Broken Blade will find another counter-strike. It only hits onto one, but it's so difficult to kill this. Jax, he just dives on top of Masu. I think he's gone too far though. Does get the redemption, and what the heck is this? Jax still gets shut down. And that was looking frightening, and he was very alone.
Broken Blade showcase.
But this time around, G2, they pulled the trigger so quickly that the front lines wasn't set for FlyQuest. Now going for a little exchange as well.
Yeah, looking for a little bit of an angle, but no full commitment onto any of these fights. Skewmon just standing in that front line. There's the flash forward, and where did he go? Master just explodes thanks to the shockwave, and now an exhausted Quad is just gonna fly his way out. But now without their Jhin, this should mean that G2 can get themselves this Dragon that has just cropped up to even the scoreline there, even able to deny some backs.
The combo is clean, and G2 are playing with confidence. It feels like this game
Arrow
is slipping.
from Hans right at the beginning too. Everything hitting at once. Masu down, and G2 are primed to make it into quarterfinals, and they're doing it with Skewmond on his Mundo. Well, the rest of the team here going at Busio again.
Yeah, looking for a bit of an angle there, but Leap Strike does get Broken Blade over the wall. They will be okay, as Nevermind, Inspired, looking for an angle. Deadly Flourish comes down, another curtain call to come in here as Skewmond flashes himself away. Busio's dead once again, though. The last bullet not quite enough, but Quad does have the follow-up damage. It's a trade of supports. For now, the flash forward from Inspired. He thinks he's found the angles. Whipper just flashes on top. Hans is going to fall down for the first time in this game, and now this Crocodile is doing what he wants instead of the Mundo as they escort G2 out of the river.
FlyQuest are fighting back.
Skewmond is going to come over here as, yeah, if Quad's doing
Caps
damage to
has
this,
TP.
it's going down very, very quickly. And so is Skewmond, as we can see here. He's just a health bar, and this is Nash's and that Leandri's completed. Busio makes his way back. Broken Blade wants to get in here, but this Baron is going down so incredibly quickly. They have vision, but they have no one in the area, and it's FlyQuest that
Could still very much go either way. The Baron has bought a lot of time for FlyQuest. The hook.
Yeah, hook to come on through there as Busio starts off the fight. Glacial Prison is good as well to hold down this front line. The last bullet this time is not going to land as we have fights on multiple fronts. The counter-strike to interrupt the teleporters. Lebrov will be able to get himself to relative safety, and now it's G2 trying to turn this one around because Bwipo is so much of what allows FlyQuest to win these fights, and he was denied.
FlyQuest try and engage on Skewmond and Lebrov.
Cloud Soul could be a big deal for either of these teams, and man, this goes down fast. 3 items now, and so G2 will be able to welcome her in, and they might be able to start this one up. We'll just have to see. As Bwipo in position on this blast cone, they do get an engage onto Inspired, and Broken Blade with that flank angle is spotted. Thankfully there for FlyQuest fans.
Bwipo, though, he's sitting on a control ward. They haven't seen him come through. They're trying to ward for the flank, but they don't know where he is. Hans has to be extremely careful because Bwipo could be the game changer as Broken Blade looking for both top laners with their flanks. Could be the thing that defines the game.
Yeah, which flank is going to work out? Will it be Bwipo finding the priority target? But he's found instead as Lebrov gets into that brush, clears out the control ward. And G2 now with the upper hand as Broken Blade wanting to sneak in once again. Bwipo slices to get out of there, and Quad has to get out as well. Busio starting off the fight, gets the double knockup, but Skewmond is so tanky. Not tanky enough, this Azir is just going front to back. As now Broken Blade with the counter-strike is going to be able to help take down Bwipo. The hook is going to not land, but the Magnet Storm is gorgeous. Not enough to do all the damage, and Busio somehow got in there, but look at the Emperor's Divide. Down goes Broken Blade, the curtain call as well to slow down Lebrov. G2 still with some players alive, but these health bars are so low, and FlyQuest come out on top.
And Skewmond goes down without activating his...
And FlyQuest get another go with the Rebel Baron power play.
That is absolutely insane. It's re-engaged from Lebrov, but it's not enough damage. The carries are safe, and FlyQuest turns it into a one fight.
Oh, the timing of that Emperor's Divide was just gorgeous from Quad. As we're right into another team fight as now Bwipo having to use that Q to try and get his health bar back, but Hans Summer's just going to shut him down. The Deadly Flourish as well is trying to work out, but Broken Blade stays alive. The Emperor's Divide is gigantic, and BB will go down. The Azir is taken as well, and G2 straight out of the replay, straight putting FlyQuest into the death chamber.
Caps goes on a rampage. He finds such a huge shockwave with the help of Lebrov. G2 may well have done it. There's only Inspired left to try and defend the base, but after 3 long years, I think Europe is back at the quarterfinals.
It was looking like it was going to happen again. It was going to look like North America could deny them one more time, but it's the top 8 in the eyes of G2 as they look to take down these Nexus turrets. The Nexus, the next to go down,